everybody, and welcome to another episode of Just Learn Crypto. As always, I'm here with Shawn, and we have Bonz from R-Planet, who's going to be talking about one of the biggest blockchain games right now, not only on Wax but in general. We're going to talk about what the game's all about, a little bit of the strategy that goes into it, as well as most excitingly what's coming next as we're moving past just staking NFTs. Bonz, how's life on the R-Planet?
Things are going great, man. It's good to be here with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show, man.
No problem, man.
So one question I have is, what kind of sparked the creativity to create this in the first place? Like, who was the guy who said, let's
Oh man, I got to give credit to all, it was our team, and I had a little bit to do with, the lore of it. Obviously the game, the idea of it originally was, the actual little alchemy portion of the game, the opening of the game was sort of the going to be the base of it. And this story with Captain Pig and the animals escaping, was just kind of fun. We wanted to make it not too serious, but also have it be kind of fun. I mean, that's kind of the whole, and kind of the vibe of the whole thing, right? It's like, it's meant to be fun. It's not meant to be, some super critical, super serious story. But I got to have fun, but yeah, I wouldn't say it was any one person's idea. It's definitely a team effort. Shout out to the guys, Luke, Nazar, and Yulia, and Pablo, and Andrew, and all those guys, probably everybody, Max and Andrew, and everybody had a say in it, and it's like I said, as far as writing the story, I got to have a little bit of creative input there as well. And it was kind of a team effort. And basically, the idea was always to, sort of this whole staking platform and, giving out this game token and growing this sort of base for the game was always kind of, the plan was to set this up for the what's going to be the second phase of the game, which was always kind of like a longer term plan for the team to kind of make a Travian type of game where it was going to be a land based battle type game. And so we saw this whole first phase as sort of a stepping stone to get to that main sort of game that we're developing.
Yeah, so it's being rolled out in different stages. Explain, if you can, just R-Planet at its core, like someone brand new, how would you tell them what is R-Planet?
Well, I mean, what is our planet? I would say it's just like this all-encompassing community gathering space of force, of a driving force, to gather up all the communities of Wax and bring everybody on one platform. And the original, before we even launched the alchemy portion of the game, it was just a staking platform. So it was really revolutionary that we basically were the first ones to invent this platform where we were going to reward the holders of NFTs, reward the collectors, give people a game token just for being an NFT collector on Wax, which was, sort of the idea was to, how do we get all these communities to come together, come to our platform and try our game out? Well, we invented this staking system, which basically pays out game tokens to all these different communities, regardless of whether or not you gave us any money. So basically, but the staking platform launched before we had done any sale. So we were just rewarding the main communities of Wax, which at that time were, of course, the GPK, which was the original Wax community NFT, major launch on Wax, and Blockchain Heroes, which was sort of another early major community on Wax. And then basically just adding projects as we saw these communities emerging on Wax, and one community at a time, we sort of got the entire Wax community coming to our site. And of course, knowing that we were launching this game, some people held on to the tokens. Some people, as soon as there was a free market to sell them, they were selling them. But we told people from early on, there's got to be a game. This is there's a direction here. When the game launched, some people jumped into it. Some people didn't jump into it right away, but I think over time, more and more people started being curious about what was actually going on, and they saw how this whole crafting thing and creating NFTs. And I think once people really got in and tried it, and especially if, getting back to the staking pools, it's like we gave people a foot in the door. Yeah. And once you have your foot in the door and you already have some of these tokens in your wallet, you're that much more likely to say, well, maybe I'll give this game a try, you know, rather than trying to sell something first on the hopes of building a game, which is what you see a lot of projects doing now, or saying, you know, come buy our game token to play our game. You know, it's a lot harder to get users that way. So
it's what's really kept me away from a lot of projects, to be honest, is that, you know, they're saying, you know, here's the packs, here's this, you can buy land, you can buy packs, you can buy swords, you can buy drugs, you can buy everything that you want. And staking is coming, you know, Q2 2022. It's like,
exactly.
There's no, I think that's the wrong way to approach it. Whereas with you guys, like, I remember at the beginning, it was almost like I was worried, like, where's the catch, right? Like, where are these guys?
I had all my stuff staked, and I unstaked it because someone was like, bro, like, seems a little too good. I was like,
what if it's a rug pull, you know, all this nonsense. And then what really like made it all make sense was the roadmap, and seeing, you know, that, you know, there's a long-term plan for this, and that it goes beyond just the staking, and also that you guys are going to be selling your own packs, your own NFTs, and like have something to gain by doing this properly and for the long term.
Absolutely.
And so when the packs first came out, what was the reception of the community to like your own NFTs?
Yeah, well, you know, like we were just going to do a rug pull. That was the plan. We were just going to get everyone's NFTs over.
But then there's too much money on the table,
and then just totally rug pull the whole thing. And we were going to be like, now we got all the NFTs on wax. We have them all. And then we own all the NFTs. So, you know, but no, I'm just kidding. So yeah, I mean, if anybody does, you know, I mean, you know, obviously we heard that early on, you know, and people were like, you know, they want, you know, is your contract audited, and, you know, how do we know it's safe? And, you know, that, you know, and it's legitimate concerns, right? Like, because they're in a contract, right? And, you know, as we've seen in DeFi and other things, right? Like contracts can get broken, right? But you know, no, we were positive from day one that our contract was never going to be able to be exploited. It's protected by multi-sig. It was built by the best in the business, the guys that literally invented the simple asset standard, Crypto Lions, who I also work with. We invented the standard. So basically, we also designed the staking contract, and these guys are the best in the business. Like we knew that, and plus, even just to access the contract, you would need a number of private keys all working together to try to somehow you know, collude to somehow break the game. And it's like there's no incentive to do so anyway, because it's like, yeah, it's like if you took a whole bunch of NFTs, what even if the team did the quote unquote rug pull, like how are they going to sell the NFTs, right? Like in case anyone doesn't know, like atomic market is essentially you know, it's not, I'm not going to try to say they're centralized, but it's like you realize that those guys have keys. They could totally just blacklist our whole account. Like we could be, you know, the Wax team would probably have stepped in. Like there's no chance that they're going to let some shady thing come in and basically break Wax.
Months ago, before, you know, we got to know the project roadmaps came out, and, you know, when it first came out, I was like, what is all this? This is crazy.
I think all of a sudden, one good thing to clarify for the audience is like, what is the difference between staking and burning an NFT? Because that's something that often I have to re-explain to people when I'm trying to introduce them to R-Planet, is that it's still your NFT, even though you're gaining rewards for it. You're not permanently burning it to gain.
Oh, of course not. Oh, absolutely not. Not only does it remain in your ownership. So like that's another thing people get confused about. It's like, yeah, you stake it to our contract, and people think somehow that we have control over it, but it's actually your keys still have control over that NFT. It's just in our contract, the same way that if you use a DeFi protocol and you deposit some Ethereum into a contract, or even on EOS if you're using Vigor, it's even though that's in our contract on Vigor, it's still your keys to have access to your crypto on that platform. So yeah, it's like we can't just go in and do something with people's NFTs. I've seen people suggest that, and it's like we literally can't do that. We actually have no ability to even mess with your NFTs. Just because they sit in our contract doesn't mean that we could actually ever do anything with them. Your keys still control those assets, you know, because that came up a number of times with like the Alien Worlds NFTs that were in our you know, we were asking people to remove those specific ones that were abundant, and you know, it became a problem with just RAM, and just with people, you know, there was bot armies that were basically coming up with tens of thousands of these abundance, and they were basically mass farming them so that they could basically mass farm Aether. And we were asking people to remove them. People were like, well, why don't you just remove them from your contract. And we're like, we were trying to explain to people, we literally don't even have that ability. We can't just like take people's NFTs and do something with them, So yeah, and getting back to the, original point, yeah, people right from the beginning, of course, people ask questions, and still to this day, kind of getting to your point, like you said it kind of jokingly, like, where's the catch? And still to this day, just maybe a week ago, I saw somebody saying in the chat, like, people don't understand their like how the token mechanics work, or they think somehow like that the token only has a value because the community puts a value on it, and it really makes people question, like, where does value come from with anything in the whole world? All value is belief systems, and the token that we created only has a value because people put a value on it. It's the same with all NFTs, really, right?
Well, it's a really
like
great like distribution method that you guys use as well. Like we
Well,
see
it's
so many thousands of cryptos that have come into the market over the last few years, and it's like you can airdrop them, you do a pre-sale, you do an ICO. But what you did, like you guys found a way to make people that already were collecting NFTs, were holding these NFT collections, and give a secondary layer of value to those, and also distribute the initial supply of Aether at the same time. Like it really was a beautiful way that you guys did it. So I know now we're seeing tokens like Axie that are skyrocketing, right? Like these play to earn, blockchain based, NFT based games are really starting to grab a lot of traction in the market right now. Are you guys hoping that, I mean, obviously you're hoping, but are you guys anticipating that with the rollout of the new game that it's going to really put a boost on the Aether price?
Well, specifically on the price, no, we literally don't pay any attention to it. And like I was just saying, it's just like when we we created this token contract, which anybody can do. Like, you could go start a token tomorrow, and you could just give it away to anybody you want. You could just start a token and create an airdrop and just airdrop all your friends 1 billion tokens.
Yeah.
Or, you create a trillion tokens and just give 100 people 100 billion, just literally just give them all away. And it's like, what gives them value? It's like, well, if you give them some utility and then someone, can create a pool on Alcor, which anybody can do, people will then let the free market decide what it's worth, So yeah, the game token is worth something only because people decide that it has some utility and that they're willing to pay for it. Having said that, we literally don't pay any attention to it. And, it's kind of comical because it's like, people act like, dude, literally, we just don't pay attention to it. Like the team, especially, like, I notice it because I'm in the chats all the time, and people will be like, oh, why Ether down, sir? Please, sir, why Ether down? But then when Ether was when it was so, dude, like, a couple months ago when it was, crazy, like people were getting, like, for staking. I mean, just think about it. Like, I'm staking these NFTs, and then people are earning like more than a salary for like sweating all day, like working, like producing items in the real world, like really like sweating to me, which is, I mean, dude, that's all it can happen with all markets, right? It's just like, it's just a free market finding a value for things. So maybe it was in a bubble then. Maybe people were FOMO. Maybe it's, maybe this is actually the price that it's supposed to be, or maybe this is low and this is the lull, and in a couple months when the game takes off.
What I've noticed playing it is that the more in-game uses there are for Aether, the better the price. Absolutely. The better. And that's not financial advice, just so we're clear. But
dude, but it's totally clear to anybody who's really kind of paying attention to it. It's totally correlated to inventions, as of right now, what's the use case for it? You're going to make fungible tokens, right? Well, it's totally clear. Like, when there was no inventions happening, we went through that long lull and nothing was really getting invented, and the frustration is built, like, and then people are just literally, you just watch it in the price is almost just like a real-time expression of just like the like either the frustration of the community or like the jubilation of the community. Like, everyone's either excited or fearful, either they're like bored and fearful, or they're excited and jubilant, and just like,
I think something that people forget is that this was given to you for free.
So but, and again, getting back to the point of the whether it's lower, like, so people were basically upset, like, 2 months ago, like, oh, it's only a whales game, I can't get into it, it's too expensive. And then you even come into it got so high that you have people that were literally like, now they don't even want to play the game because they're like, wait, it cost me $2,000 US to craft this item. And like, it gets so ridiculous on the other side where then people don't even want to play the game with the token because they're too valuable. And so like, that's just like the natural ebb and flow of the actual utility of the token, which is to play the game. And then the free market deciding what it's worth. And as we saw, it's, if it goes too much, that's not good either. And so, yeah, I mean, the free market will decide. But having said that, yeah, we don't pay any attention to the price. We do, getting back to your original question, yeah, we do obviously expect more players to come. We see growth happening across the entire sector. Play to earn, I mean, we've been there from the beginning. Hashtag play to earn. We're Prospectors is one of the original blockchain play to earn games. So we've seen the space grow from nothing to what it is now. And of course, I'm sure we all agree where it's going from here is exponential. It's going to continue to grow at a phenomenal rate.
Yeah, I'm just looking to diversify in the play to earn space as well. Like I'm starting to now look at other games because I'm pretty comfortable with where I'm at with R-Planet as far as my staking power and rewards. I feel like I have enough to play the game and continue to grow within it. But I think in general, if you're looking at it as an investment, try to find a few games that look interesting and create some kind of stake in them, and then you're kind of hedging your bets against the ebb and flow of each individual economy. And I envision a future, 5 years from now, maybe even less, where every morning I'm logging on and clicking 65 buttons that have to be clicked, and then that's my work for the day.
Yeah, exactly. No, believe me, we could see how that's like, a future that's already unfolding, but it's kind of crazy, and it's the same thing. I mean, dude, it's like people are doing it, for the last couple of years. It's been DeFi and yield farming, right? And that's basically what it is logging onto these DeFi, claim these rewards, claim this governance token, sell it for this, restake this into this, buy some stable coins, provide liquidity into this pool, get this LP token, stake this LP token for more rewards. It's just this game of like moving capital around.
I have a question for you. Outside of the uplift stuff that you guys are doing, which is super exciting. I know we covered it on the Saturday sesh, but essentially you can uplift your R-Planet land to then earn land in the uplift world, which is super interesting kind of crossover. Do you see a lot of uses outside of R-Planet for R-Planet NFTs, even the elements?
For the R-Planet NFTs outside of our system?
Yeah.
Well, it's really interesting because it's like, so, I mean, it's an interesting question. So it's like we, getting back to like where we were starting at the beginning of this conversation, like we gave utility to all these NFTs all around the wax space in most cases that had none, right? Like, so we took all these other projects that basically were selling themselves as a collectible, and we said, we'll give it some utility, at least as a staking item within our platform. Now you see the emergence of, a lot of other people basically trying to emulate that model. But in the case of the uplift, these guys, of course, they're developing their own metaverse, right? And so, they of course have land, and we partner with them and enabled it so that your R-Planet land could be uplifted, like you said, for 5 million Ether. You can essentially turn your R-Planet land into an uplift land simultaneously. So that one NFT is actually a piece of land that you own in two completely separate platforms, which actually had never been done before. So that was kind of a really cool partnership for both of us, really, because they really brought the communities together, and now basically, just like we gave people tokens which gave them a foot in the door for our platform, now a lot of people basically have their foot in the door in the uplift metaverse, right? And so that's a whole nother ecosystem which is going to basically be able to provide essentially a passive income similar to owning lands in the R-Planet, where they're just mining these minerals or staking in the R-Planet staking system. These passive income plays are just going to continue to compound and grow off of each other. So the uplift and being able to own land in the uplift enables you to earn. Now they have a token Upliftium. It's also going to enable you to earn wax, and it's also going to enable you to earn Aether tokens when people visit your plot or travel over your plot.
Wow, and that's only if you've uplifted your R-Planet land with
the
uplift, right?
Yeah, if you uplift your R-Planet land, you automatically then have a plot in the uplift that you can build on. You can do whatever you want with it. You can do nothing with it, but that plot in the uplift, it basically enables you a whole second source of passive income. So kind of like what you were just saying about kind of diversifying and trying to spread out these different passive income plays and these different play to earn games. They just basically are and they're putting a ton of work, and there's a lot of people really excited about it, and they have a huge growing community. So
I think,
if anybody, go ahead.
I think it also does a lot for scarcity for both collections in the long run. Because if, for example, if say the Mud NFT or FT that's created in R-Planet can be used outside of R-Planet, then suddenly that 600 supply is now half what it was. And as the whole like metaverse as a whole, the whole ecosystem grows, that's where these things become incredibly valuable, because not only does it have the utility in R-Planet, but you also might need it in Uplift to create something that isn't otherwise creatable. So it's exciting to see where this goes in the next couple of years, but I think it just opens so many doors for collaboration, which is awesome.
I totally agree. That's definitely a direction that it's going, and we I think teased a little bit about it, but there's definitely going to be some cross-platform functionality with our other games. As some people know, maybe not everyone, we're launching a new Grand Land for prospectors, and there's going to be definitely some crossover there with NFTs in prospectors and also on R-Planet. So yeah, and to your point, I'm sure we'll see more of that. It's just going to continue to grow and compound. More and more partnerships will happen. Teams will work together. Platforms will collaborate, and yeah, it's just getting started. You mentioned Axie. That game's been around for years and years and years, right? And only now do you see it really like kind of it's taking off, right? It's just blowing up huge, and it's like you can imagine. Wax is what a year ago or a little more than a year ago, I was at an NFT conference, and literally like nobody at this entire conference had even heard of Wax. It was like right before the GPK launch happened, and I was telling everybody there, I was like, yeah, are you excited for what's happening on Wax? People were like, Wax, what are you even talking about? Like, I could not believe it. It was an actual NFT conference, right? Wow. Nobody heard of Wax. I was the only one there. I was telling everybody about it. And it's crazy to see, and so of course, like these games that are on Ethereum and these NFT projects that have been 3 years worth of development, and also all, Ethereum is huge. Like there's a huge community, orders of magnitude more users than are using Wax probably at any point. But and of course the same with the money, right? So there's just so much money in the Ethereum ecosystem that these games of course are just some of these projects are just the cost of the NFTs is ridiculous, right? But I'm sure in a few years, like give the Wax ecosystem some time to mature, and you can already see the trajectory and where this is all going. So
is Wax the best blockchain for NFTs in your opinion?
Yeah, I really think it is. I think it's obvious. It's like that's why there's more transactions. It's like, and that's why you've seen. I mean, even these games on Ethereum that and going back even to prospectors, like we launched the token on Ethereum, we knew right away it wouldn't work. We looked at all these different chains. There was only one choice. It was only EOS.io, and we of course launched on EOS first. But then shortly thereafter, because Wax wasn't even really live yet at that point, but shortly thereafter Wax launched, and I think one thing where they killed it right off the bat was they had their own, this Waxhaw wallet was a game changer. And I remember at the time telling all these people all over crypto, like this is the easiest onboarding. Up until that point, that was the best, easiest onboarding in all of crypto, hands down. And then the fact that there's just no gas. I mean, and you still see it, like you see that games still like abandoned, even Axie, right? Like they just blew up because they finally are on their own, basically like layer 2. Right.
Using
Ronin, it's called now, right?
Ronin,
I hope I'm not screwing that up, but we see it also with like Zedrun, like, and you saw it with even the original CryptoKitties, right? So CryptoKitties was like the original NFT sort of game. It broke Ethereum at the time, and then what did they immediately do? Like and those guys were actually at the same NFT sort of conference, and the guys from Flow were like, Dapper Labs realized early on, like, wait a minute, it's not going to work. We have to be on another chain.
Not for a gaming or a collectible market, like for
course.
fine art, something that someone's going to buy the NFT once and it's going to stay in their wallet. That's fine, but you can't have the output of transactions that you need to run a blockchain game, to even trading with collectibles. It can't work on Ethereum with the gas fees.
It can't. And so early on, people decided, we're going to be on these layer 2 solutions, but Wax is a layer one, like that is the platform.
Like,
BOSIO
I hate
is
when
the
people
tech.
say that as an argument, like, oh, well, now we have layer 2 solutions. It's like, that's all well and good, but look how easy the onboarding is to get someone onto Wax. Imagine having to onboard someone to Ethereum and then onto a second layer solution. Like, it's like, dude, ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, and it's like a lot of the other blockchains are catering to the crypto community, which makes sense because that's where it started from. But
sure,
Wax is approaching it more future sighted, I think, and looking at the gaming community and building even something as simple as the UI is based around that. It's intuitive for someone who's played games and used eBay and is in that space already. And like that's this perspective that I came in with. Like that's what made me fall in love with Wax in general, is that it felt somewhere fun to be. Whereas when you've got, 5 different verifications and 3 layers you got to put on top and everything's in white and it just looks like shit. And it doesn't have that same, vibe that you can get on the Wax blockchain.
And I always find it interesting hearing Aidan's perspective on this, because I've been into crypto since end of 2016. Aidan, he just got like NFTs were Aidan's intro into crypto, into this whole world at the beginning of the year. So it's interesting to hear his perspective on that. Bonz, I wanted to know real quick before I know we're wrapping on pretty long here. What are some of the numbers with R-Planet right now? How many users do you guys have? If you know that info.
No, it's a good question. I know we have over 50,000 accounts that are staking NFTs. We're I think maybe number 5 or number 6 as far as daily users according to DApp Radar. We're growing. I think on the all-time sales list of all time, according to CryptoSlam.io, we're maybe just out of the top 10 of all-time game earners, and our game's only been out for 6 months, and that's of course comparing against games like Axie that have been around for years. But yeah, those there's some juggernaut platforms. I mean, you have Top Shot, NBA, and all these Ethereum projects that are just huge, But getting back to your point before, like, you have, I think that's part of the reason why we saw a lot of this explode this year was you had Top Shot, which basically had, and it's totally centralized essentially, but they had this onboarding that people are used to, that like, people who don't want to mess with crypto, who don't really care or necessarily weren't like into crypto can go on Top Shot, get an account. It feels normal to them. It's got an app. It looks good. The UI is clean, and you just buy stuff and you have your NFTs as in your whatever. And so that was sort of like again, like gave people a foot in the door to NFTs. Then they start learning about NFTs, and then now they start learning about the different chains. And I think people want that sort of like familiar. They don't want to have to do, not a lot of people care about jumping down the crypto rabbit hole. They just want to be in the ecosystem, playing the games, doing the play to earn thing, trading NFTs, playing these games. And I think Wax provided a really easy onboarding solution to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they made it so easy. 2 clicks.
Totally.
2 clicks, you're in. Boom, boom.
And that's how easy it has to be. And I mean, dude, there's still a lot of work to be done. I mean, and of course there's going to be other chains popping up, and they'll have similar solutions. And as long as you keep onboarding people and giving people a reason to come into crypto or collect NFTs who don't know anything about crypto, like the average person, and give them a reason and make it easy enough for them to be like, okay, I'll get in on this. 2 clicks later, they have a wallet and they have some NFTs in it. That's how easy it has to be.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's how we'll keep growing this thing. And that's as long as onboarding keeps happening like that, this thing will just keep growing,
Yeah. What are we going to see from R-Planet over the next month?
Man, the next month, we'll have to pull out that article from a week or 2 ago with the updated roadmap. But I know we have some updates coming. I think it's only a few weeks away, I think, now at this point. I know there's another update actually before the new UI, but I know it's only right around the corner. We're going to start being able to upgrade those lands, which is the actual fungible token, where you're going to start to be able to use those FTs from R-Planet to actually be beefing up your land and having them producing more minerals, which of course is what you're going to need for building your robot army. So yeah, save those FTs, guys. Plus, here's a little, we didn't really get too much into actually the gameplay or the crafting in R-Planet, but I would just say, as far as that goes, like, it seems like now, people there's so many more users now too. This is what, we've seen this growth, and it's like, NFTs get or elements get invented and NFTs are gone like so fast. So like, and that's just a matter of how much we've grown and how much interest there is in the game. So it's kind of like, it's really separating more and more the people who are kind of like have their head in the game and really playing the game from like the passive player.
Yeah.
And so if you are into trying to craft those NFTs, pay attention and do pre-crafting is what the community is calling it. Like, come up with enough fungible tokens so that you already have a bunch of them made, so that when you need to make one of these higher elements that take like a lot of crafts, you already have a lot of the pre-crafting done. So if your head is in the game and you have a whole bunch of fungible tokens, you have a way better chance of actually minting one of these NFTs when one of these new inventions happen.
Mm-hmm. Where can people find the R-Planet community?
We have of course a Telegram group. That's our official Telegram. They can find us there. We have an awesome community on Discord. We'll give a shout out to Luffy and Absolute, the guys over there. They run the community. It's a community run Discord. They've built it up. There's a lot of people there. There's a lot of channels for like inventing. There's a lot of sort of like streams that happen. I know Luffy's been doing these like Twitch streams where they're throwing millions of Aether, like 50 million Aether, 100 million Aether into the pile, trying to come up with these inventions. So it's a lot of fun. Like even if you just hang out on the call, even if you're not doing the inventing, just like being involved with it is fun. And yeah, make sure that you're actually just like followed our Twitter, because as people know, we've been keeping moving the game along by giving out some hints for these inventions when they seem to get stalled out. And so those will happen in the official channels like Telegram and on the Twitter. So keep up to date with all the latest info. Follow us on Twitter and make sure you're on the Telegram group.
Awesome. We'll put all the links in the description. Guys, thank you so much for watching the episode. If you stuck all the way to the end, make sure you hit like and subscribe, share this video with your friends, because this is a really great opportunity to play to earn some crypto, and also be having fun playing a game at the same time. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next show. See you later.